All right, we are back with another Pick'em video, and we got 10 games today on Friday. Happy Friday to everyone. And it's Flex Friday over on PrizePicks. I always put it in the title of the screen. I'm sure a lot of you are already on PrizePicks, but if you're not, use code RichPicks when signing up. They're going to get you $50. Just load it right into your account. All you got to do is use code RichPicks and put $5 down on any play, and they'll load you up for $50. Pretty sweet deal. It's also a great way to get into my Discord community for free. The links are in the description down below. You can just join if you want to do that. But again, plenty of ways to get in for free using my codes to sign up for any of my partners. And yeah, it's a great way to do it. Also, yesterday in the Discord, we had a really solid day, 11-3 day individual plays. That doesn't include any minus 150 plays, minus 200 plays. They're all those 50-50 individual plays on something like PrizePicks or Betr or Underdog. And yeah, really, really good hit rate. If we're hitting at a 78% hit rate individually throughout the season, we're going to be very, very successful like we were last year. I'm not expecting that great of a hit rate every single day, but we'll take it early on in the season. And yeah, things are looking good. So we got 5 plays today, maybe 4, depending on if anything moved or how long I ramble in this video. But yeah, really liking what I'm seeing. Ton of value on the board just because we got so many games, and yeah, excited for this video. So if you're new around here, definitely go ahead and subscribe. Leave the video a like, comment something down below. It's just going to tell YouTube, hey, push this guy's video out a little bit more. He knows what he's talking about, and I like watching. So without further ado, let's jump into some plays. So real quick, do want to go over the video picks from yesterday. It's important to go over your wins and your losses. I just am very transparent over here. Tatum over his first half anything, he crushed that. Lou Dort under his 13.5 points and assists. He easily got that. It actually bumped to 12.5 during the video. He got that still. Chet Holmgren, probably the best read of the night, 25 points. How about 5 assists as well? We weren't expecting many assists, but he crushed that again. And against Denver, he continues to play really, really well. And there are 2 losses on the day. Dante DiVincenzo over his fantasy score is what we ended up going to in the video because his 2.5 rebounds was gone. Too good of a read. But ended up not being a good read at all. Dante continues to not be able to shoot the ball in Minnesota. 1 for 6 from 3, 9 points, only 1 rebound, so he didn't get his fantasy score or his boards. And then Kyrie Irving, might have to reconsider my thoughts on Kyrie this year. Only 27 minutes. Ended up being kind of a blowout, 11-point game in the end of it. But 27 minutes versus Luka's 36 minutes. Not a great sight for me to see there. So maybe they don't run. Kyrie is getting a little bit older, and if he's expected to get 27 to 30 minutes rather than 30 to 35 minutes, something to be said there. So 3-2 day, we can do better than that, and we're going to try to. So let's actually jump into the plays now. Okay, so jumping into the PrizePicks desktop screen here, you see the guy, 3 different ways to play him. The top one is the official video pick. That's the way I played it, but fantasy scores continue to come out as I make these videos, and I don't mind his fantasy score either in the first half especially, but also for the full game. Huge first game for Santi Aldama. No Jaren Jackson Jr. in that one, and I don't expect him to play again today. He is doubtful. If Jaren does play, I don't love this as much, but I do think Santi, a guy that scored a ton of points in that first game, meshes really well with Ja Morant, who drives, and if he doesn't get that layup, he can kick out to a guy like Aldama who can knock down that 3. I think he had 5 threes in that first game, and don't expect him to shoot 60+% like he did again, but if he shoots 45 on the volume he was getting, he is going to absolutely crush this line. So 11.5 points and assists. Let's go to his outlier page and check him out. This is Outlier. It's a data prop tool that I use every single day. If you want to check it out for a free week, use my code in the description and then comment on this video. Say, hey, use your code for Outlier, and I want to try it out. I'll also give you a free week of my Discord as well. So kind of a cool double whammy there. And Outlier is freaking awesome. They give you so many stats. First half fantasy, if you like playing the first half plays, I know some people don't. It's kind of like a nerfy or a yerfy in baseball. It's over quicker than a full game, and can kind of dampen the party if he doesn't get there, but also, get you pretty hyped if he gets there really early. Huge hit rate last year, especially without Jaren Jackson Jr. It just means he's going to get more minutes. 30+ minutes is what I expect without Jaren in the lineup. But let's go into his 11.5 points and assists. Again, that's the play we're talking about today. We can look at 2023 as a whole. I guess we should look at the game he did earlier. 27 points and 2 assists. Kind of like the Chet play from yesterday. I'm not expecting him to get a ton of assists, but if he chips in with at least 1 assist, his point line on a couple different books on PrizePicks, it's 10.5. So all we need is 1 for it to make sense to go to his points and assist line at 11.5. This is all over the place. But yeah, really liking Santi here. And if he gets 1 assist, 2 assists, 3 assists, that just, extra icing on the cake there. But 27 points, awesome shooting, 10 of 16 field goal attempts. I don't expect that many attempts. I don't expect him to shoot that well. But if he shoots 12 times at 50%, he should probably, crush this line. especially if a few of those are three-pointers. Next up, I want to look at his 2023 production, still over this in 52% of games. And then in games without Jaren Jackson Jr., who, again, game time decision, doubtful if you look a little bit farther into it, 83% hit rate. A lot of these games crushing this line, and you see the minutes go up huge to about 30 per game when Jaren Jackson's out of the game. So really liking what I'm seeing there. In 2024, you can see obviously Jaren didn't play that game, but he got 31 minutes, and again, they meshed really well. Now, talking about Houston, this is the one bad part of this play. Santi never played really well against Houston. Didn't get there in any of the 4 matchups last game, but in all 4 of those games, Jaren did play, and you can see the minutes were not as what I expect tonight. 22, 15, 26, 21, and I assume a couple of these games. No, none of those games even really blow out, and this is a +3 for Memphis. So should be a closer one. That's what I expect. Blowouts in the NBA happen all the time. But in terms of the matchup against Houston, that's the one knock on this play. But, even so, if Santi's shooting 16 times, he's going to absolutely crush this one. And it's not just what I think and, my breakdown of the game. I like to look at market value. That's one of my biggest things I go for when I do sports betting or DFS, whatever you want to call it. And DG Fantasy is one of the best tools out there for this. You can check it out for a discounted rate using my code in the description, but it's so seamless. Right now I'm looking up, Santi Aldama, but they have all different types of sports, and it's integrated with PrizePicks and all these other apps. So you can go on and be like, I don't want to do research today. What's the top plays based on market value for PrizePicks or Underdog or Betr, whatever you're looking at. So market value is huge, and that's what we're looking at here. Santi Aldama over 11.5 points and assists, 52% hit rate, and that's because a lot of books are already up at 12.5, some books at 12.5 and favoring the over, it looks like. And the other books that have them at 11.5 typically favoring the over as well. So I really do like to see that. They're saying if I had to choose, I would choose the over. So good to see market value also in line with my thinking here. And then also RotoWire, one of my favorite projection models. It is my favorite projection model. They've been around forever. They do fantasy stuff for all different types of sports. In Santi Aldama, they're loving today. It's actually their top play right now, 11.5, or top play for him, 11.5. They're expecting 13.5. I expect even more. So everything pointing in the right direction for Santi. I don't have to do the recaps of what these different apps do anymore, so we'll go a little bit quicker in the next few plays. But yeah, definitely check out these tools if you want to do research by yourself. DG Fantasy, awesome. RotoWire, awesome. Outlier, awesome. And OddsJam, which I didn't even talk about, but we'll talk about a little bit later. All really good tools that I use every single day. So check them out. Use my link in the description. You're going to get some sort of perk for using my code, and it's a great way to support me as well. Moving along to our next play here, Alperen Sengun, a guy that you should learn his name because he's coming. He's 22 years old, kind of in that age or realm where it's kind of like, okay, how is this guy's career going to be? He's got all the tools. He's kind of like a Jokic light, and he's looking more and more like Jokic each and every year. So absolutely dominant first game. We'll jump into that right now. But the line I'm going to go to is 29.5 points and rebounds. He could score that many easily. He's a guy that can grab a ton of rebounds. So this line just looks too low to me, and it's going to check all the boxes in terms of a good play for me as well. So going into his outlier page, 29.5 points and rebounds. We'll see last year, 49% hit rate, so right around, the hit rate that you're expecting for a 50-50 line. But looking a little bit farther into it, let's see the game he put up last game, which was the first game of the season. This was against Charlotte. Not a huge center over in Charlotte, especially with no Mark Williams. Nick Richards, not the best defender in the league. But yeah, crushed this. 43, 25 points, 18 rebounds. So, almost got there in points alone, almost got there in rebounds alone as well. So, yeah, absolutely dominated that. In terms of field goals made, didn't shoot particularly amazingly, especially as a big man, but loved to see 22 attempts, and he was doing it from all over the place, even made 2 threes there as well, chipped in with some free throws, was able to do everything against Charlotte in a not-so-high-scoring game. So if we see a little bit more scoring going up against Memphis, this is in the same game, and we already talked about it. No Jaren Jackson Jr., so I don't love the head-to-head matchup here, another 0 for 4 in terms of the guys we're going to today, but looking a little bit deeper, Jaren played all 4 of these games, and Jaren's a huge defender as opposed to the guys that are going to be filling in behind him. Not so good over on Memphis. So Memphis, 25th and 28th ranked rebounds and points allowed. respectively last year. So even with Jaren down there, deterring shots, a team that allows a lot to centers. Sengun wasn't able to take advantage of that last year, but again, he looks like he's ready to prime for an All-NBA type season, or at least an All-Star type season. And with a little bit more scoring as 105 at the kick, expect him to crush this line. So Sengun, 29.5 points and rebounds, just seems too low. Let's see what the market value is saying. They love it. 29.5. How about a 53.44% chance to hit? A lot of books already up at 30.5. If anyone's still down at 29.5, they're very heavily favoring the over here. Lastly, RotoWire projection model, they love it as well. They're expecting 32.25 on a 29.5 line. That's a huge discrepancy, especially for a RotoWire projection. So really, really liking this one. Checking all the boxes. And Sengun and Santi Aldama, same game, first two plays of it, and both overs, so fun ones to root for. So if you're going to watch a game, this one could be the game of the night, to be honest. Should be a fun one. A lot of injuries on kind of both sides, to be honest, but two teams that are kind of primed to where they rank in the West here could be very interesting this year. Moving along to our third play of the video, it's going to be Colin Sexton here at 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Another one I kind of saw and I was like, that just looks too low. He didn't get there in the first game of the year, but he also didn't get a ton of minutes, 25 minutes, and I expect him to get a little bit more than that. At the very least 25, more like 28, maybe even 30 minutes per game. I just think he's the most talented guard on that team. There's obviously Jordan Clarkson, there's Keontae George, who gets a ton of run and puts up a lot of shots, even though he's not very efficient. Colin Sexton seems like the guy that's just been around for a little bit longer, and he is the most efficient guard on that team. Clarkson and George just are not it for me. So Sexton at 23.5 caught my eye right away, and looking into it, really, really liking this play. So obviously, like I mentioned, did come up short in the first game of the season against Memphis. He gets Golden State here, which I really like the matchup even better than the Memphis team here. You see versus point guards or guards in general, I call Sexton a point guard. You might call Keontae George the point guard, whatever you want to look at. I think the guard should just be put together. But yeah, to point guards, let's say that one looks a lot better. Points allowed, assists allowed, rebounds allowed. They give up a whole bunch of stuff, and it makes sense when you think about the core that they have on that team. And it could be a couple of injuries on that team as well. 3.5 point spread. Hopefully don't have to worry about a blowout. And I like to see that Colin Sexton went over in all three of these games, which kind of go hand in hand with what I'm thinking about the defense on the Warriors side of things. So like to see that. Going back to last year, 64% hit rate. Again, I think we're getting a little bit of a discount because of the minutes we saw in game one, only 25 of the year. But I expect, 28. That's kind of what RotoWire is also expecting. And in games that he got, let's say 25 at the low end to 20, let's say 30 minutes, 32 minutes, really, really high hit rate. He's able to put up stats pretty quickly, and again, was very efficient in game one of the season. I think coach will probably see that and see that, he's probably the best guard on this team, and just allot him a few more minutes, even if he gets 28 or so minutes, 28 to 30 minutes, 100% hit rate. 28 plus minutes is pretty much 100% hit rate. So I like Sexton here. I think we're getting a nice discount on his line. Going into some market value here, also his top play on the board for DG Fantasy. A lot of books, kind of like a broken record here. A lot of books already up at 24.5. If they're not at 24.5, they're favoring that over at 23.5. So they're giving it a 53.13% chance to hit. Love to see market value pointing in the right direction. And then same thing, kind of, again, broken record. This doesn't always happen, but it's really why I really love today's video picks. Points, rebounds, and assists, again, 23.5. They're expecting 26.85. So I like Sexton's chances of going over this line. Great matchup against Golden State, and I really like the hit rate from last year when he gets the time. So first three plays looking really, really good here. And then we do still have one more play in this video that I want to go over. But if you made it this far in this video, I want to point out a few different things. There's reasons why I promote these different platforms. Obviously, it's advantageous for me, but it's very, very advantageous for you guys as well. Whether you're collecting a deposit match on one of my, other partner platforms like Underdog or Betr or Sleeper or Chalkboard, any of those, or you're just getting like a free trial of Outlier or something like that, or using DG Fantasy for your advantage. There's reasons why I promote these things. And again, obviously advantageous to me, but very advantageous for you guys as well. So for instance, PrizePicks, which is right here, you can use code RichPicks when signing up. They're going to match you up to $200. So if you put $200 in, you're going to start with $400. If you want to just put $50 in, $10 in, they're going to double that, and you're going to start with double, which is pretty awesome. But they are one of the best in terms of getting value plays right now. They're not as big as PrizePicks and Underdog, and they can't move their lines quickly enough. So this Tyrese Halliburton play right here, this is Odds Jam. It's showing us that PrizePicks and Underdog have him at 9.0. That's probably where his line should be. 8.5, just, again, seems too low for Tyrese Halliburton, and all these other books agree. Pinnacle, the sharpest sports book out there, heavily favored on the over, minus 154 on the over, plus 114 on the under. Parlay play kind of right in line, minus 142 on the over on FanDuel. This line should not be on a fixed payout system like Betr, like Underdog, like PrizePicks. It's too good a value, and Betr has lines like that all over the place. So if you want to join Betr, it's one of the most profitable things in the Discord right now. Definitely check it out. Use code RichPicks, and when you do that, you're going to get a free month of my Discord as well. So you can not only get on Betr and use the deposit match, you can also get into the Discord, talk to a bunch of like-minded people. I'm in there all the time, and you get access to my plays and a bunch of smart people in theirs plays as well, because they share their slips all the time as well. Let's go to DG Fantasy. Kind of shows hand in hand with Betr. You can see how good the plays are available on Betr right now, but they have all these different plays. If you want to go on PrizePicks, and again, I've been looking at specific players when showing you guys these things, but you can just go to any league and just see, okay, here's all the value. Here's the sportsbooks that don't have them and why they shouldn't be on this platform. Whenever you see something like green, it's just something that shouldn't be on PrizePicks, and it's just so seamless using DG Fantasy. Going into Outlier, again, I've been looking at specific players, but you can just go to the last 20 plays on PrizePicks altogether. I'm in the NBA tab, but you can use any of these different platforms. How about Davion Mitchell? 100% of the last 20 games. A lot of these guys, it's early in the season. They're going to show great hit rates because they're in different situations. Davion Mitchell and the Raptors, no Quickly, no RJ Barrett, is going to get a lot more time. So he might not go under this play. But throughout the season, if you're less knowledgeable in the sport or if you know what you're looking for, these hit rates and things can be really advantageous. And you've seen how far you can dig into things when you know a little bit what's going on and really find the good plays here. RotoWire, another great one. You can just go on here, go to research. This is all the plays on PrizePicks. They have a bunch of different things, Underdog, Sleeper, all these different apps. So you can just go on and be like, okay, this has Pick'em Sports, Sportsbooks, RotoWire's projection, hit rates, all kind of baked into one thing, and it's giving you the best lines based on their projection model and where other sportsbooks have their line. Really seamless. Last but not least, I want to point out Underdog. 20% profit boost for NBA's unlimited uses, for the next 2 days. So if you're talking about three-man plays over on PrizePicks, this three-man play, this exact three-man play, the plays we're looking at right now, if you put them in a three-man, you only get in 5x. That is so bad compared to Underdog. Never play three-mans over on PrizePicks. Typically on Underdog, they are 6x. But with this profit boost, I just don't look at these. I just randomly threw these in. Don't look at those. I didn't look at any research there. But 7x for a three-man over on Underdog right now is absolutely insane. And they've been doing discounts all throughout September. They did profit boosts all throughout October. I would be very surprised if they didn't do anything in November. They're giving us a ton of different value. So I know I talked about that for a little bit, but again, definitely try out these different apps. I didn't even talk about Chalkboard, Sleeper, Dabble, all these different apps that I promote. It's because they're advantageous for you, and you want to be getting as much value as you can. So again, you don't have to spend as much time as I do. That's where I come in. If you join the Discord or if you get in for free using one of my codes or anything like that, you're going to get the advantage of being able to get the plays that I put out there, and I put all this research in for you. But if you want to do it yourself a little bit more, get the tools. DG Fantasy, OddsJam, Outlier, RotoWire, they're all very good tools. So I talked about it for a little bit. This video is going to be longer, but I think it's very important, especially at the beginning of the season, to jump on board with these things and really try them out for yourselves, or again, just jump in the community, and that's where we're going to be talking about value all the time. So again, I just talked a whole bunch, but the links in the description down below, just click them. It's almost easier than using my code, but you can do both, and you're going to get the perks of doing it. So a ton of information in the description down below if you want access to any of these things that I've gone over today. Moving into our last play of the video, it's going to be Tyus Jones right here, 15.5 points and assists. Obviously a new face in a new place. Phoenix is his new home. Not playing with the bums over in Washington. Sorry for any Washington fans, but now he's playing with KD, Booker, a lot better roster over here in Phoenix. That just means more assists for him to potentially get. You could also argue, less points for him to be had. But first game of the season, ended up playing 35 minutes, so he's definitely got his foot in the door here, starting probably point guard for this team. Even with Beal and Booker in the lineup as well. But Jones is a pure point guard. He knows how to get people into a position to score, and that's kind of what Phoenix needs. They never had a true point guard to talk about for this season. Booker is playing a lot of point guard last year, and his numbers have kind of shown that. But Tyus Jones could really slow down this offense and get these guys into a nice rhythm. I don't think he's going to score a ton of points, but he's proven that he can, put up 9 to 10 points pretty consistently and, chip in with a few assists here as well. So Tyus Jones over 15.5 points and assists against the Lakers. I like what I'm seeing. So going over to his outlier page right here, we can see the Lakers' defensive stats. We'll start there. Points allowed 23rd ranked, assists allowed 25th ranked, and they give up a lot of these things to guards, so point guard or shooting guard. doesn't really matter. They give up a lot of stats to the point guard or shooting guard position, the guard position. And we like to see that the head-to-head last year, Tyus Jones went over this, only 8 points, but 11 assists against them. And pretty funny that the first game of the season, he had 8 and 11 again, but 11 points and 8 assists this time. So he definitely has his, spot in the rotation here, as we saw him get 35 minutes. Again, you got to put into account that this was an overtime game, so that is something to think about as well. But, should get 30 or so minutes. We see the last year's hit rate, obviously 68%, was a big part of Washington's offense. Maybe the ball in his hands a little bit more in Washington than he'll get in Phoenix here. But I do like to see, again, able to consistently go over this line, even when only getting, let's say 28 to 32 minutes over this in 95% of games. So definitely a new situation for Tyus Jones, but he's proven he's been able to consistently go over this. And again, maybe he is that piece that Phoenix needs to really slow them down and get them into a functioning offense, that we haven't really seen as well the last year, but looks pretty good in the first game of the season. Going into his market value here, again, top of the board here, 53.28% chance to hit. A lot of books at 12.5, some books at 12, and if they're at 11.5, heavily favoring that over. So again, sound like a broken record. All these plays kind of lining up perfectly. And again, we'll go right back into it. RotoWire right on top, 11.5 points. Sorry, are we doing points and assists? No, points and rebounds, my bad. Next, so it's a second one. But again, you can see a lot of sportsbooks already at 16.5. RotoWire, same thing. They like the points and rebounds. I like his potential for assists today. If you want to go to his points and rebounds, absolutely go to that as well. It's also a really, really good play. But points and assists, he's projected for 16.79. Points and rebounds, 14.54. You can choose. Either one looks really, really good to me. So Tyus Jones looks like he's got a really good spot in this rotation. Again, not as big as a factor on the offensive end for this team as he was last year. But still a big contributor for this team. So if he can chip in with, 7, 8, 9, 10 points and get around the same amount of assists, he should be able to, go over this line. It's not going to be one that I expect him to crush, but should get over with, at least 16 here for us. So that's going to do it for this video. We talked about 4 plays in depth. They're all right here. And I know this is a longer video. I do like to go in depth and give you guys as many data points as possible. But we also talked about a lot about our platform partners. If you got to this point in the video, definitely check out Underdog. Definitely check out Betr. I mean, you just see the value in Betr right here. 9.0 on PrizePicks and Underdog, 8.5 just sitting there on Betr. And it's a fixed payout system just like PrizePicks and Underdog. Use code RichPicks when signing up. Also, Outlier, definitely check it out. Get a free week. Get a free week of my Discord. It's a win-win. When you sign up for DG Fantasy, when you sign up for RotoWire, you're going to get perks. And when you sign up for any of my partners, Chalkboard, Sleeper, Dabble, Underdog, Betr, all those different ones, they're all in the description. I probably forgot one. You get a free month of my Discord. So it's really a win-win-win. It's really a great way to support me and be able to make me do this as much as I can. I like to put as much time as possible, and I'm supported by you guys using my codes and liking the video and watching the video. So let me know if you enjoyed it. If you're new around here, definitely go ahead and subscribe. Leave the video a like. Comment something down below. It tells YouTube to push this thing out there when you guys comment and when you like. And again, really, really feeling confident about these picks. Really good start to the season. 17-6-1. That's a 69.57% hit rate. When considering 2 of these wins were discounts, I do put that into my hit rate. I'm not going to just count those as full-time wins. And we did have 1 push on the season, unfortunately. Kind of annoying when you get a push. But yeah, really good start to the season, 69.57. If you're hitting it anywhere above like a 55% hit rate individually, you're going to be profitable mathematically. So love to see a really high hit rate to start the year. Don't know how long we'll be able to keep up that good of a hit rate. 69-70% for the entire year would be ridiculous, obviously. But anything over 55% for the year is all we're shooting for. That's where you're going to be profitable in the long run in terms of the math. But yeah, going to keep going till the wheels fall off. I guess just going to keep going all together. There's going to be rough patches. There's going to be, hot streaks and things like that. But as we get more data points, more games into the season, we'll be able to have, more stuff to look at. So you get the leg up when you start the season and you just know the games, new faces, new places. How is that going to affect different game styles or, predict that stuff happening? But yeah, we'll also have more data points to look at from this year, which will be nice as well. So that's going to do it for this video. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.